so many women getting into shooting sports. I took my course a little while ago. I've talked about that on the show. Half the course, there were 12 people in my course, half of them were women. And they were very interested in what was going on. They were as interested as the guys.
Yeah, certainly the interest is the exact same. Oftentimes women who are involved in firearms sports are actually a bit more attentive to detail. So I might even say better, depending on obviously the amount of training they've had. But I had a rather different experience than you, Brian. I was the only girl involved in my RPAL and PAL courses. I'm often the only girl at the range. And so for me, this was an awesome experience because outside of my time down at the States, at CPAC and so on, where I find other girl gun nuts, in Canada, I think that they kind of shy away from the topic. And, if you just, Google girls, guns, and Canada, just those three words together, what you'll usually get are articles about gun violence and not really about women taking part in more memberships of different sports and so. Sorry?
I thought you were going somewhere different with that because if guys are Googling girls and guns, something different comes up. But you have to come to the Ottawa office.
It's a family-friendly show.
It is. It's why I left it there. You have to come to the Ottawa office because there are probably more women in our office that are interested in shooting and hunting and so on than there are men. And we got a fair number of both, so maybe you got to transfer offices. That's all I'm saying.
Just don't tell the bosses hear that. No, but it certainly is on the rise. On both sides of the 49th. And what was so cool was to be surrounded by women who we had so much in common. This is one of the first times I was at the range, and I actually talked more than shot because we're going through our iPhones. We're all showing each other, look at this sick gun that I shot. Look at my face after I finished firing this. It was so refreshing to do this with other women. Susan, Kim, and myself, all three women were the first anyone in our family to actually pick up a firearm and get into the sport. That is cool and totally unheard of. But according to Kim, who's done a lot more traveling than I have for the very purpose of promoting her own brand, she knows better than anyone how much of a rising interest firearms are with women and that it's not all bad. These are not inherently juxtaposed items, or I should say things, women and firearms. They go together quite well.
I don't think so either, and I can tell you, we're almost out of time, but I can tell you that last spring, I was down in Woodstock, Ontario for the National Firearms Association annual conference, and I was seated at a table. It was mostly couples. I was there without my wife. There's an older gentleman, was the other on the 8th at the table. Former firearms instructor with the police, he told me women are normally the better shots. And why? Because if they take it up, as you said, they have a definite interest. It's not a casual one, and they pay attention to detail. So women can do this, and they can get involved, and very welcome, aren't they?
You bet, and we're not afraid to ask questions as well. So there's a bit more learning that happens when you do that as well.
All right, Faith, great talking to you, and all the best out at the range.
Thank you. Bye, Brian.
Share your thoughts.